From Kerensky's stars came the 800, beneath a banner of truth and righteous light, to lift up those who had suffered and to smite down with fearful vengeance those who had ruled in the name of vanity and greed. The thunder of their battlemech's feet, the lightning from their weapons, and the blood spilled in their name created the clan spirit, the forge upon which we have fashioned ourselves to be the weapon of a resurrected Star League. Honed to a razor's edge by the trials, by the remembrance, and by the words of the great Kerenskys, our sires, our savior. Usually a practical people, the clans reserved most of their reverence for the past for Nicholas and Alexander Kerensky, the first being the father of the clan way of life following the Second Exodus, and Alexander Kerensky for boldly leading the Star League Defense Force away from the coming carnage of the Inner Sphere's succession wars. That's simplifying their histories, of course, but you get the general idea. The respect they showed for Alexander Kerensky extended to the Orion, the mech that General Kerensky chose to pilot in 2718. The 75-ton heavy mech saw extensive refits, tweaks, and upgrades over the years, but Kerensky stuck with it even when heavier designs were available. The addition of the custom Studebaker T-19 command and control interface in the cockpit offered Kerensky a plethora of battlefield information that was crucial to victory on more than one occasion. The Orion served him well through the campaign against Amaris and a desperate attempt to save the mortally wounded Star League, but eventually the wear and tear would make the mech unusable. Its final loadout included a Gauss rifle, Artemis improved SRMs, and a snub-nosed PPC. Once the mech was pillaged of all useful parts, the remains were left behind on an asteroid in the new Samarkand system. Kerensky's iconic battlemech would not join him on the Exodus. The Orion would remain a cherished battlemech across the clans, though Clan Wolf would hold a particular affinity for it as the clan which Nicholas joined and as holders of the Kerensky blood name. Over time, just as with the other SLDF-era battlemechs, the Orion started showing its age. Not content with just a C version of the battlemech, Clan Wolf's scientist Case went to work creating the best possible Orion using the best possible technology. The final result was a 75-ton battlemech that kept the striking look of the original Orion, but packed a much more significant punch. In 2841, the Orion IIC was introduced in a very select and limited supply run. It was never intended to go out as a general-use battlemech, but instead was reserved for Clan Wolf second-line Mechwarriors who had earned the honor of piloting it and were likely to be advancing in their careers to first-line status quickly. Remember that this is also the century where Omnimechs really became the end-all be-all for clan first-line warriors. The prospect of piloting an Orion was not enough to break the allure of the highly customizable battlemech like a Summoner, Direwolf, or Timberwolf. Remaining at 75 tons, the Orion IIC deliberately looks a lot like the original out of respect. However, underneath the aesthetics, the core of the mech is entirely new. Using Type W2 endosteel and composite A4 ferrofibrous armor, weight is saved for a Heavy Force 300 standard fusion engine and the mech's armament. The 12 tons of armor provide 230 points of protection, which is quite solid. For reference, the Summoner Prime has 9.5 tons of armor and the Timberwolf also has 12. The Orion IIC's primary weapon is a Gauss rifle located in the right torso, along with 2 tons of ammunition. Adding to the firepower of the Gauss, or maybe complementing it, are a pair of ER large lasers, one found in each arm. In the left arm, there's also an LRM-20 with 3 tons of ammo in the left torso. Finally, an SRM-4 in the left torso allows the mech to make closing on it a painful gamble. This loadout makes the Orion IIC deadly at all ranges, though the 12 double heatsinks are really not enough to allow for consistent firing of both ER large lasers, the Gauss rifle, and the LRM-20. If able to fire over multiple turns, I would likely fire all 4 the first turn, then hold off on one of the ER large lasers on the next turn to get back to 0 heat. One interesting quirk in the weapons loadout is that the 2 ER large lasers are not the same model of the laser. One is a 6W and the other is a 7W. While this has no practical effect on the tabletop, it does add a tiny bit of flavor to the mech's lore. Apparently the newer 7W laser was produced at the same time as the original Orion IIC's design, and while one could easily be moved over to it, the other arm structure did not accommodate the slightly different 7W. As mentioned, Clan Wolf only produced this mech in small numbers, and they zealously guarded the design from any other clan which wanted to claim it in Trials of Possession or in trade deals. The only Orion IICs seen outside of Clan Wolf would have been taken as Isorla or as damaged by Inner Sphere forces. When gifted an Orion IIC, no wolf warrior would deny it, even if it meant giving up a more coveted design. The insult to the honor of Kerensky would not tolerate it. The last two references to an Orion IIC in the historical records are with Felinkel's wolves in exile and a custom variant piloted by Burton Davion, a knight of the Republic of the Sphere. When the Capellan Confederation launched Operation Celestial Spear, they were seeking to recapture the planet Liao and other planets they saw as rightfully belonging to the Capellan state. In what would be known as the Massacre of Liao, large sectors of the capital city, Chang'an, were destroyed. More than 100,000 civilians perished in the conflagration, including a Republic senator named Melissa Allard Liao, who was the daughter of Kai Allard Liao. When word reached more and more Republic of the Sphere worlds, people were outraged. Kai Allard Liao left his retirement on Terra to find justice, or perhaps retribution. He ended up leading RAF forces. Eventually, Burton Davion and the other knights joined Kai and added their mechs to the fight against the Capellans. In a brutal fight that very nearly killed Kai Allard Liao, Burton Davion and the other knights fought a delaying action to save Kai. With most of the knights eventually falling under the advance of battle mechs and artillery fire, Burton used his Orion IIC to great effect, taking out 3 of the 4 mechs attacking him in what has been labeled Burton's last stand. In retribution for Burton and the rest of his fallen friends, Kai and the remnants of the 5th Triarii leveled every Capellan fortification and killed every Capellan unit they could before finally being forced to retreat. The available evidence suggests Burton's Orion IIC was destroyed along with Burton in 3111, though I am now curious how he managed to get a hold of one in the first place. That must be quite the story. Burton Davion's Orion IIC was the only known official variant of the mech. I suspect it had something to do with the idea that you wouldn't want to be seen as thinking you could somehow improve on what was gifted to you. The Burton variant upgrades to a Clan XL engine, which maintains the speed of the original, but buys space for more gear. The mech's mobility is improved with the addition of 4 jump jets, not too shabby, and the Gauss rifles swapped out for Hyper Assault Gauss 20 in the right torso. The ER large lasers in the arm remain untouched, but the LRM rack is replaced with a Streak LRM-15. In place of the SRMs, an Advanced Tactical Missile System 3 was installed in the left torso along with a light active probe. Finally, a laser anti-missile system was installed in the mech's head. The Burton variant does a good job with heat, as there are 15 double heat sinks to keep things chilly. It remains a threat at all ranges, and I think I like the HAG-20 upgrade from the Gauss rifle working in conjunction with those ER large lasers. Normally I'm wary of the Streak LRMs due to the system's weight, but it could be a great way to supplement the damage of the HAG-20 when those missiles do achieve their lock. Because I felt like it, I decided to thumb my nose at Clan Wolf by making my own variant. The Orion IIC MF2 is stock except for a half-ton of additional armor and the loadout, which is an homage to the original Orion, but with a bit of advanced tech flair. In the right arm, I've placed a tried and true LB-10X AC along with 2 tons of ammo. I like to split 50-50 cluster and normal AC-10, but you could flavor it to taste. In the right arm, I've installed a Streak SRM-6, which can make quick work of lights and even occasionally score a through armor critical, which can ruin an Atlas Mechwarrior's entire day. In the left torso, a trio of medium pulse lasers are always useful, and in the right torso, there's an Advanced Tactical Missile System 9, along with 1 ton of each type of ammunition. Finally, an ER small laser holds that coveted open head critical location. While not a long-range fighter like the original Orion IIC or even the Burton variant, the MF2 can be quite nasty at the mid and close ranges, where you are going to be able to hit your target consistently and wear down even the thickest of armor plating. It's the brawling thug of a mech that the original Inner Sphere Orion is, but with the benefit of that sweet, sweet clan technology. So what do you think of the Orion IIC in its various forms? Are you a 2C purist, or is that Burton variant something you'd want to tackle? If you were building your own Orion IIC, what would you put in it? Let me know in the comments and we'll keep the conversation going. Thanks for watching, and if you hit the various buttons, it'll make the YouTube algorithm happy and suggest the video to new people. Going the extra step and becoming a channel member directly funds future work. I really do appreciate it and look forward to continuing to grow the channel well into 2024. Until we meet again, take care and go make the world a slightly better place today and tomorrow.